Hey everyone, welcome back. Well, I put the poll up, I guess, I don't know, a week or so ago, seeing if anybody wanted me to do a review on the Festool Kapex. Finally pulled the trigger and bought one for a few different reasons. So, overwhelmingly, most of you that voted said you did want to see a review. Luckily, my reviews are pretty short and sweet. I kind of try to get to the point and get them done and get them over with. That's the way I like to see them too. Honestly, it doesn't have to be drug out. I don't have to do 3,000 cuts with it. You get the gist. So we're going to do a quick review of it. Let's go. Okay, so the couple of things I'm going to do first. I'm going to get some angles. I'm going to get a 90-degree cut, which I obviously want to check out, and then I want to try to get a 45-degree cut. Here is the stock holding. This is probably one of my favorite things about this saw. I did notice, though, it will work if you just push it down and then push the little locking system, but it seems to work a lot better if you push the whole locking system back and then push down. But this thing does an absolutely great cut. The blade doesn't spin super long. It actually has a brake on it that cuts off pretty good. And as you can see here, this is straight out of the box. I haven't done anything at all to this. It's a perfect 90. Super excited about that. I didn't do an unboxing of it because I wasn't sure I was even going to do this video. But you see me keep feeling of that edge. If you've ever had or messed with their track saws and you know what kind of an edge they produce, it's the same thing with this Kapex. You probably wouldn't even have to sand it. It does such a good job. So now I'm going to move it over to 45. I'll kind of show you a little bit more in depth in a minute about the system, how you move to different angles and lock the system down. We're going to just do a quick 45 here. I can tell you, it took me a little bit to get used to the way the saw actually actuates and works. I'm used to your typical miter saws. So you pull down, release, and basically operates from one side. This you can operate it from either side, but it is kind of weird to get used to. And here you go, right out of the box, 45-degree angle. It's dead on. Really can't complain at all. Those are the only two angles that I really, messed with. I am assuming if it does that good with those, it's going to be just fine at any other angle you want to try to do with it. Okay, next here, I'm going to show you another feature of this saw. Several saws have this feature, this one included. You can actually do kerf cuts if you want to do like half laps or anything like that, or just simply do kerf cuts for bending. You can do this here. This little lever right here on the back, everything green does something. You can actually adjust that. You will pull it forward. That will allow you to only come down to whatever level you adjust. I'm just doing a random height here. I didn't measure anything out. But if you're doing half laps, you could put you a mark on your side of your stock and make sure you got half the distance of it, and then adjust that down. And then you can do your kerf cuts like so. Again, this is just a random height, just kind of give you an idea of what it looks like. Does a really good job. Very, very smooth. Keep in mind when you're doing this, I am using pretty small stock. You probably want to put something behind it to move that forward. Plus, you want it to act as a backer, like a sacrificial piece for that, so you don't have any kind of tear out in the back like I've got. So this is going to be kind of curved, but I just did it to kind of get the point across. You can do half laps, kerf cuts, or anything that you want using this. Works out pretty well. And speaking of tear out, I actually bought the plans on a CNC, or for a CNC, for the throat plate on this to actually give it a zero clearance that I don't have filmed here. I love zero clearance, so I had to make sure I got that on here. This stock holding can actually move from left to right. You simply just slide it in backwards and spin it around, and it's good to go. Again, probably one of my favorite things about this saw is this actual stock holding and how fast you can actually put it down and actually make it work. With this, I'm using the new CT25E. Been pretty good. Another feature you have on here is the half degrees. You can see the two lines. You just simply set the half degree whichever direction on your angle, and that works out pretty good. One of the other features, being that this is a little bit smaller diameter blade, you might worry about being able to cut thick stock. This is actually a feature on this where you can actually flip that little lever down, and it will actually extend this out and allow you to cut thicker stock, and that plastic piece there actually pushes up. Pretty interesting feature. I did cut a 4x4 with it, and it actually does. It also allows the saw to drop down deeper than it typically does when you're just cutting normal. You can see that almost touches right there. So pretty good feature. And then to release it, you just simply push that down, pull it forward, and then you can push it back, and you'll be back to normal operations. The sliding of this saw is very smooth as well. Another feature you have here is you have the option to do bevel cuts. To do that, you just simply release this, and you have 0 to 45 is pretty much what it stays in. That allows you cut to the left. You can do plus or minus 45. That allows you cut to the left or the right. And then plus or minus 47 degrees will actually give you a 47-degree bevel on either side. Big gauge here for checking your angles. One of the cool things is this actual micro adjustment type thing here. So you can get pretty close, and then you can actually just use this knob to turn it, and you can dial it in here where I did like 15 or 14 or 16 degrees or whatever, 16 degrees. And then you just pull that back down, lock it in, and you're good to go. If you want to lock the sliding mechanism, it's simply just a turn of that little knob right there, and it will lock it, and it won't let it pull forwards or backwards on your slide there. So if you ever need to lock it all the way back, just do chop cuts, you can do that. No worries at all. And pretty much just like any other miter gauge, you do have the ability to lock it down for storage, transport, or whatever. You just simply push that in or pull that out, and that locks the whole head of the saw down or releases it. That's not anything specific about this saw. What is cool is you do have a little gauge here, because this does have variable speed as far as what material you're cutting if you want to do that. And you also have the button for your laser. The laser on this saw is actually pretty cool. I would say that is definitely a good feature and a pro. It has the actual kerf of the blade where you're not even having to guess as far as which side it's cutting on, because it will take out material right in the center. As you can see, this little demonstration that I did here, it is dead on accurate. It takes material right out of the center of that laser. I think that is actually a pretty cool feature on this saw. And just a different angle of what I was talking about earlier. You can just flip that lever down, lock it into place. It's going to allow you a little bit deeper cut. Although this cut here is not quite outside the capacity, but it does keep the blade forward so the arbor doesn't get in the way. Because if I'd have just pushed this all the way back and tried to do a chop saw on this, you can see here the arbor would have actually hit before I'd ever got through the material pretty well. So definitely a feature, especially when you're dealing with a little bit smaller blade than like your 12-inch chop saws or 12-inch miter saws. I think this is definitely something very good to have. Another cool little feature here I like is how easy it is to change the blade. You simply turn that and lock the arbor and take your Allen key, and that's it. You change the blade, you lock it back, and you are good to go. Very, very simple to change the blade on this saw. Here is what I talked about earlier as far as your left and right capabilities. It's kind of in the center, so it does make it a little bit easier to operate this from the left or the right. To pull the saw down, you do have to pull the trigger somewhat, and it will release the saw, but the saw does not engage until you actually hit the thumb control there for the locking mechanism of the blade. And you can easily do that from either side. Another great feature is the angles. You can get 50 degrees on one side all the way up to 60 degrees on the other side. 50 on the left, 60 on the right. Whenever you're using this, it's pretty simple. You don't have any kind of knobs to turn. You just simply pull up on the mechanism and you can push the button and slide it either way. And when you get to the angle you want, you just simply push it down. Super easy. The saw does come with this angle finder where you have the ability to get both inside and outside angles. You simply just find your angle on whatever it is you're looking for, lock the mechanism down, and then you can put it against your fence, and then you can turn the saw to whatever angle it is you need to be able to cut. Kind of neat. Not sure it's necessary, but hey, it's kind of neat. Definitely wouldn't pay extra for it, but it's there. You can get it outside angles as well as inside angles. You just simply have to do the same thing, and you just push these little slide bars, and you can actually get your outside angle too, wherever they cross right there. And again, set it up the same way. So again, neat little device. Not sure it's really necessary. Most of us probably have angle finders, but I mean, if you don't, it's a pretty fast and easy way. It does have its own little storage compartment on the back side of the saw. You just simply slide it in, and it locks in. You can see I got a little dust back there, but you can see it just snaps into place right there. So there you go. Okay, there you go. I had to change my camera angle a little bit. Got some stuff going on in here, but I hope you enjoyed that. Pretty short and sweet as far as what the Kapex can do, some features it has. Again, as I mentioned, one of my favorite features is actually the work holding. I just get really frustrated having to slide on the normal other saws, having to slide the little thing up the pole and twist it and then undo it. That one's just so much faster for me. So, I mean, I guess the biggest question most people want to know, is it worth the money? No.
Whoa, no way.
But you thought I was going to say yes, huh? Would I buy it again? Yeah, I would. But a couple of things. I don't think it's worth the price point. Here in the U.S., the price for the Festool is $1,600, $1,599. So for me, it's not worth $1,600. Now, do I think it is a high-end saw and has a lot of features, and is it worth a good bit of money? Sure. I'm happy with all the Festool products that I have. If I were going to put a price point on this saw, I think Festool should probably put this saw somewhere around the $1,000 to $1,100 range, maybe. I think $1,600 is just way far out there for any miter saw, unless it's going to operate itself and you don't even have to go over there. So, but would I buy it again? Yeah, I would. Simply because there's not another saw like it with all the features and the little. Some of them are creature comforts, yes, but some of them are very good. So I'm sure I probably missed a feature or something. I know one thing I did mention is the back panels. They actually come all the way off pretty easily. There's just a little set screw. You have to screw all the way down, and it's just a little quick release, and they come all the way off. You do have to pull one side off if you're going to do a steep bevel cut. I don't think I brought that up. I do wish, kind of like I mentioned it in my Harvey table saw review. I'll link that here. But when it comes to the throat plate on these, I don't know why they don't just go ahead and send you I do know why, because they want you to buy one. But I like the zero clearance. So I actually bought a file online. I just haven't cut it out yet. I'm actually going to use my CNC to cut me a wooden zero clearance for the Kapex. So, but I mean, overall, it is a great saw. A lot of things super accurate on it. I'm not sure if I mentioned in the video or not, but the wood, you see me feeling it in there. It truly does come off. If you've ever used a Festool track saw and see the finish that the wood has on it, whether it's in grain, edge grain, or whatever, once you make your pass, how smooth it is, you really don't even need to sand it. It's such a clean, nice, smooth cut. Same way with this blade as well. So that's all I got for you. If I missed any features or anything, or you have any questions, just leave them down in the comment. Hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you in the next video.